Welcome back to the Bluechip Breakdown, Vols fans. I'm your host, Bull. Happy Friday to everybody. In this video, we will be updating you on all the transfer portal news. And also with Coach Saban stepping down, we talked about Tennessee's probably going to try to go out and purge Alabama's roster. Maybe pick up some of the players that they have in the 2024 class. And it sounds like Tennessee is already doing that. We'll touch on all that. And then I'll also tell you some other players that I think Tennessee should be trying to target from Alabama. But first, we have to talk about Jerod Mayo. Okay, he is officially the next head coach for the New England Patriots. Okay, he is going to be the successor for Bill Belichick. A lot of folks think that he's the GOAT as far as NFL coaching goes. And, you know, him playing at Tennessee, right? He was an absolute and total stud playing outside linebacker, middle linebacker, 6'1", 250 pounds, made a whole lot of plays, goes on to be a top 10 draft pick in the NFL to the Patriots, plays there for a long time, and then he goes on to coach there as well. Okay, so as far as an NFL player, he has never done anything outside of the Patriots, and also obviously as an NFL coach. So very happy to hear that he is going to be the first black head coach for the Patriots. That is huge news for the Volunteers. Very, very proud of Jerod Mayo, and I know that he's going to do a great job up there, having coached up under, Bill Belichick, and also having played up under Coach Fulmer. He knows the way that a football team is supposed to be built, and he's going to get that ship righted. So let's go ahead and move on to the transfer portal news. All right, and the first guy that we have to talk about is obviously Lance Hurd. We have talked about him in almost every single video over the past couple of weeks. Said that it sounds like he's already in the boat, which he is, but at this point, we're just waiting on something to come out officially, and that should be happening here shortly. So what's going on right now is it sounds like there's a few minor details that have to be ironed out. As we all know, these days with college players, they've got handlers, they've got agents, and the whole deal. So we've just got to wait around on that, but it sounds like he is going to come out here shortly and officially announce that he is a Tennessee Vol. How do we know that? Well, if you look at the teams that, were kind of fighting for Lance Hurd's services, okay? Oklahoma being number one, it sounds like Oklahoma has already moved on from Lance Hurd. And then Ole Miss is another team that it sounds like they're not expecting for Lance to be visiting. And we know that for these transfer portal players, they've got pretty much just this final weekend to be able to go out and visit a school because they've got to get signed by January the 15th. So everything is still trending towards the Vols. Again, he just has to come out publicly and say it. Now, on to the next person, okay? This is another reason why we do believe that Lance Hurd is in the boat for Tennessee, okay? Percy Lewis is another guy that was expected to be visiting today, right? So he was expecting to come in this weekend and visit Tennessee. Now, he has since canceled that visit with Tennessee, and he has committed to the Auburn Tigers. So that right there is a little bit of the writing on the wall. He would not be, canceling his visit to Tennessee unless he already knew that we had Lance Hurd in the boat. So, guys don't really want to do a whole lot of fighting for a spot these days, and that's probably why that's happening. So, it's kind of bad news, but it's also good news. I think that Tennessee will continue to pursue some offensive tackles in the transfer portal, as the portals open up and as, some of these other coaches that probably will be going to Alabama leave their jobs, and then there's some more guys that will enter into the portal. So we've got plenty of time, I think, and we're in a really good position on the offensive line. All right, and there is a new player that Tennessee's targeting in that transfer portal, and that is Miles Kitselman. Okay, he is a 6'5", 250-pound tight end from Alabama. Now, he was a JUCO guy, transfers into Alabama in 2022. Hasn't played very much, if at all. I think he had like 2 catches for 18 yards in 2022. So he's a guy that wasn't really used very much with Alabama, but for us, he could be a great depth piece. Now, we said this several times that Tennessee is going to have to go out and target another tight end just because we've only really got 2 that can play this season in that room. If any type of an injury happens, we are going to pretty much be in a really bad spot, okay? So that's huge. He will be visiting today, okay? And I think he's going to be staying throughout the rest of this weekend. Sounds like Tennessee's in a really good spot with him. So that's huge. We are going to be adding some more depth at the tight end position. All right, now let's talk about some more Alabama players, okay? Tennessee is actually targeting Ryan Williams. So he is a 5-star wide receiver in the class of 2024 that was committed to Alabama. And since Coach Saban has stepped down, he is decommitted from Alabama. and I know that a lot of schools will be in on him. Auburn's probably going to be the highest on his list because he is from Alabama. But just to kind of tell you about who Ryan Williams is, he's a 6 foot tall, 170-pound wide receiver, okay? He is ranked number 9 nationally, and he is the number 4 ranked wide receiver in the class of 2024. Now, Tennessee is trying to get Ryan on a visit next weekend. He was scheduled to be visiting Alabama, but they are now trying to fill that slot right there, okay? And again, I think it's going to be tough for us to be able to beat out Auburn in this one, but we talked about Evan Stewart being a guy that we were targeting in the transfer portal. Kind of came out that he had some off-the-field issues that people were kind of worried about, and that's why Tennessee backed off and several other teams backed off as well. And for those of y'all who would like to know, Evan Stewart is now committed to Oregon. But Ryan Williams is a very similar player to Evan Stewart, and obviously he's going to be coming in as a true freshman in the same class with Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley if he does choose Tennessee. So that would be an absolutely loaded wide receiving class. I really love his film, okay? You know, I've watched him play. He's really fast. He runs beautiful routes, really crisp. Again, I kind of think that it could be a long shot, but if Tennessee can somehow seal the deal with Ryan Williams, we should have a very explosive offense for the next couple of years, and really even into the future with guys like George McIntyre, who we fully expect to commit to Tennessee in the next couple of weeks. All right, and there are several other players that I think Tennessee should be targeting from Alabama, and I'm going to list them off right here. First guy's going to be Caleb Odom. He's a 6'5", 215-pound tight end. He's a 4-star, ranked number 64 nationally, and he's the number 5 ranked tight end. Now, obviously, we all know that Tennessee is still trying to build some depth at tight end. To me, that would make a lot of sense for us just to target him and see if he has any interest in Tennessee. Next player is Xavier Mincy. He's a 6', 287-pound safety. He's a 4-star, ranked number 71 nationally, and he's the number 6 safety. Xavier definitely makes sense to me because we are still shorthanded in the secondary, and it would be nice just to add one more piece in that 2024 class that we know would be a very good safety. Next guy is Daniel Hill, 6 feet tall, 239-pound athlete. He's a 4-star, ranked number 128th nationally, and he's the number 6 ranked athlete. Now, Daniel Hill is a running back, and there's mutual interest there. He had Tennessee in his top schools before he chose Alabama. And now that Coach Saban has stepped down, I do think that he would reconsider, opening things back up and taking another look at Tennessee, maybe coming in and joining this 2024 class. I can tell you this, I got to see him play in the All-Star game, and he is the real deal. I think that he could come in as a true freshman and possibly work into that 3-back rotation that we like to play along with Peyton Lewis. That will be a very interesting running back battle, and it'll also be very interesting to see if he does reconsider Tennessee. And I do expect for us to try to reach back out to him and just try to test those waters. I don't think there's any harm in trying. All right, and the last player that we'll talk about today that I would love to see Tennessee go out and target from Alabama's roster is Caleb Downs. He was a 5-star safety in the class of 2023, played as a true freshman for Alabama this past season, 6 feet tall, 203 pounds. He racked up 107 tackles and 2 interceptions. He's also a guy that if you listen to Coach Saban's interview on ESPN talking about why he is deciding to quit coaching, Coach Saban brought him up as one of the guys that he's going to miss the most. He was like one of 2. So that should tell you a lot about how close these 2 guys were. And it does sound like Caleb Downs is considering entering into the transfer portal. It's some early rumblings that maybe he wants to go and be a Buckeye. But one of the things that I love about Caleb, having watched him play since he was 6 or 7 years old, I asked him from time, he was like 7. I said, hey man, what schools are you looking at going to? And he was like, I don't know, but it's not going to be Georgia. So that right there told me, hey, this kid is special. And oh, by the way, some people don't know this, but Caleb Downs might be a better player on offense than he is on defense, okay? He's a very, very dynamic athlete with the football in his hands. And with, one more year playing, in college, I do think he's going to get some more interceptions, especially in our scheme, the way that we like to play our guys. He's going to kind of be able to sit back and just kind of read that field as a center fielder, and he's going to make a lot of plays, okay? He's probably going to be one of the best safeties to ever play at Tennessee if we can get him in, but that's a very, very long shot. I don't know if Tennessee was even in his tops, but just knowing that Georgia wasn't, that makes me feel really good. And again, let's know that this kid is a real winner. All right, so that's going to be it for this video, but we are anticipating that Tennessee will target some more offensive linemen from Alabama once they enter into the transfer portal, especially at the left guard position. If that does happen, or if we hear anything about it, we will bring it back to the channel. But as always, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks. Peace.